Medu. Okay? Another fake ideology. Okay? This is representative of the sun rising. They call it the Aket. Okay? One lion represents yesterday, the next lion represents tomorrow, and the middle represents the rising of the sun on the present day. Okay? So right there, the Egyptians show the sun dropping below the horizon. They did not believe that the sun was a little small globe above the earth, spinning like the flat earthers have it in their fraudulent flat earth design. Here, you're looking at what? The two baboons in worship of the what? Rising of the sun. It shows the sun dropping below the horizon, which is totally opposite of the flat earth theory. Let me keep it moving. See here? Now we just looked at the sun and the moon in the set cycle on the flat earth theory. You would never see the sun rising or setting below the horizon because it's in a set cycle above the earth. So how in the fuck would you mistake it coming from above and below the horizon with a dome over it? Okay, we getting in. We just getting heated up. All right, heliocentric versus geocentric. Okay, in heliocentric, sun is the center. The earth has an orbit that rotates around the sun. Geocentric is earth-centered. Okay, that's earth-centered. Okay, earth is the center. The sun has an orbit that rotates around the earth. Okay, so we know for a fact, even when we look at the symbol of Ra, that the Egyptians were heliocentric, while flat earthers are geocentric. So we keep bringing this distinction for anybody to believe that the Egyptians thought like the flat earthers. Okay, there will be no way possible to have a solar eclipse. The moon will have to be on a cycle lower than the sun for that to be possible. Okay, the moon would have to be up under the damn. Where is it at? Okay, I'm gonna show it on the next one. Okay, let me show it on the next one. Okay, boom, right here. There would be no way possible to have a solar eclipse because you see on the left, the moon would have to be up under the sun. Okay, so how in the fuck you gonna have the sun and the moon on the same side of a flat earth? You'll have three-fourths of the goddamn earth would be dark if both of them was on the same side of the earth at one time. See, you supposed to have the moon on one side and directly across from the moon supposed to be the sun. And when the moon, and that's the way that you keep the cycle in check. But if the moon is not on that cycle and is below the sun, able to cause a solar eclipse, then if you got both of them on the same side of a flat earth, then damn near 2/3 of the goddamn earth would be in darkness. Because you need one on the other side to provide light. But if both of them on the same goddamn side of the earth, then 2/3 of the goddamn earth gonna be dark. So how the fuck you gonna have a lunar eclipse on a flat earth with this cycle right here? See, that show you the hypocrisy, because you have to keep changing how the fucking cycle look. You have to keep changing how the map look. You got to keep changing whether it's a circle or it's a square. It's no uniformity in shit that y'all do. That show you that the shit is fake, because you need too many lies to make this shit work, and it's still not working. So you know it's not flat, because where's the water stored? You got to have some type of vertical down. And if you got vertical down, then what do you have? Do you have a pyramid? Do you have a cone? Okay, what do you have? So until y'all come up, what the fuck kind of structure this earth and be solid on what it looked like, it is no way that nobody in their right mind will believe nothing that the fucking flat earthers is talking about, unless they stupid as fuck. Okay? Did the Egyptians believe in flat earth? The Egyptians were the first to show the earth, the sun, and the moon, the celestial bodies, as orbs and spheres, spherical. Okay? So when you look at here, right above the Egyptian doorway, this is a globe. This is a orb. This is like a quarter orb cut in half. Okay? It's cut in half, but they show you that it's an orb. They show you that it's spherical. They show you that it's a globe. So we're not crazy. The Africans was the first to show the celestial bodies as orbs and as spherical. This has nothing to do with no European. It has nothing to do with no goddamn NASA or anything, because the Africans had already right here. You can see the depth. You can see that it's an orb. So our people here, they carve deep in to show you that it has depth. It's to show you that it's an orb. Okay, again, here, showing you that it has depth. Showing you that it's an orb, that it's a quarter or a half orb, or a spear or an egg cut in half. This is the front of an Egyptian doorway. Okay, right here. If the Egyptians could prove the sun was an orb, why would they be confused about the earth? When you think about Ptah, he created the universe from the cosmic egg. When you look at Khepera, you see that the scarab beetle, they roll a perfect orb. So if the Egyptians knew that the sun was an orb, that they knew that it was, why would they be confused about the earth? Okay? And so that's very key when you discussing the creator deities of ancient Egypt, they're always connected to the cosmic egg. You're not dealing with nothing flat. You're not dealing with nothing that's without fizz. You're not dealing with something that's been deflated. You're dealing with an egg. You're dealing with something spherical. Okay? The potter starts with a clay ball. Most things that come off a potter's wheel is spherical. Okay? So when you're talking about God being the great potter, and I'm gonna show you in the Bible where Yahweh was depicted as being a potter. Okay, you're never gonna create nothing flat on a potter's wheel. Okay, it's always gonna be spherical. Okay, here you're looking here. Now we can also see that the vase has an opening at the top, but from east to west, it's spherical. Okay, you could go all the way around and continue to go and go and go and go without ever stopping, coming back to that same point which you began again and again and again and again. That's circumnavigation. Okay, when you're talking about Gaia, and when you're talking about the goose being sacred, not only to Gaia, but also to Ptah, also to Amen. Amen-Ra, the creator God. The egg, the goose, because Ptah was called the great cackler. He was called the great cackler because the goose cackles. Okay, and Ptah created the universe. He created the world from an egg. And the first thing that came out of the egg was the sun. Okay, so when you think of the goose, you think of the egg. Okay, so that's why we understand clearly that the ancient Egyptians knew that the earth was an egg, a spherical creation. Okay, and that you can circumnavigate it. Okay, when you're talking about the so-called symbols for the so-called word of Sarah, Sarah, which is the sun and the goose. Okay, and the sun representing an egg at that sense. Okay, and that the goose is only a symbol for Ptah. It's only a symbol for Amin. It's only a symbol for Ra. Okay, son of the sun. Okay, so we see that the goose is sacred to many of the great creator deities. Even Khnum molded man on the potter's wheel. When you go to Isaiah 64, verse 8, it says, "But now, O Lord, you are our Father, we are the clay, and you are potter, and all of us are the work of your hand." Okay, you ain't gonna create nothing flat on the potter's wheel. Okay, and we also understand that when we talk of when the potter get ready to go to the potter wheel, he has a ball of clay. You know, most of the time they start with a ball of clay. And if you look to the left, how the hands are over the earth is the hands of a potter. It's as if the earth has been spun on a potter's wheel. Okay, when you talk about Mother Earth, and when you look at we talking about the pregnant stomach of our woman making a spherical, a globe type shape on the pregnant African woman. This is where you get the term Mother Earth, okay, because of her spherical shape of her stomach when given life. So when we talk about Mother Earth, we're talking about that which gives life, everything on the earth that gives life, the living things on this earth. And so the African woman being a anthropomorphic, a symbol of also having that power of provision and providing and nurturing, nature, nurturing. And so that's the divine energy of the African woman. Okay, that's not flat. Okay, that's spherical. Okay, and then you're talking about the centripetal force energy from the tornadoes to the hurricanes, from the DVD player to the record player, to the gears in your car, all those things that move in centripetal force for you to get energy. The flat ain't gonna give you no energy. Flat mean you flat. You can't move. Okay, you're deflated. You fizzed out. So when you're talking about the egg, you're talking about life, and you're talking about the possibility of centripetal force, which brings everything in nature, brings all energy, creates all energy and frequency in the universe. If it was not for the power of the circle, the movement of the circle and centripetal force throughout the universe, it wouldn't be nothing in existence. You cannot get shit from something that's flat. Just get that through your thick ass skull. Okay, again, the yolk represents the hot core of the planet Earth. Okay, when it says the goose that laid the golden egg, these are just modern recreations of the great stories of ancient Africa, retold in medieval fairy tales. This, that, and the third. Even when you look at the top of the Ankh, you're looking at an egg. You ain't looking at nothing flat. You ain't gonna get nothing no light from something that's flat. Okay, the Dogon even seen the universe as an egg. Okay, the first 7 vibrations. Let me stop this right here. Hold on, y'all. Let me hide this right quick. Let me get back on my thing. Okay. The first 7 vibrations of the egg of the world. Okay? So even the Dogon seeing the universe as the egg with the Sirius star system being the core of that cosmic egg. This is just like you see with Ptah, okay? So they seen the world as an egg, not nothing that's flat. Okay, when you talk about that, the eyes of God, okay, when you're talking about the moon and you're talking about the sun, okay, the eyeball, you see that it's an orb. You see that it's a spear, okay? So these are not just coincidences. These are some of the divine similarities between man and the universe. Okay, so when they talk about the eyes of God, is it far-fetched that they would conceive that all 3 are spherical? Okay, when we look at this, now look at this so-called flat earth. Look at that shit. Now which one got to go? Okay, if the Egyptians knew the moon, okay, if they knew the moon, and when you look at the Kepra beetle, you know that it's a perfect globe. Okay, you know that it's a perfect globe. So if the sun is an orb, if the moon is an orb, what is light? We got to deal with what, and we putting up the facts. But what caused the sun to be round, caused the moon to be round, caused most of these planets to be round? It was the Big Bang and the centrifugal force of the almighty universe that spun these balls into the sky like they are. Okay? It's the you know what I'm saying? The greater centrifugal cosmic force, even greater than our sun, that has our sun moving around the greater force. Okay? So whatever caused the bang in the beginning and the centrifugal force energy of the circle, the movement of the circle, caused, just like the potter's wheel, caused these stars and caused these planets to be orbs and caused them to be spherical. Okay? Unless the Egyptians actually went to the sun, if they how would they have known that it was a perfect ball? Okay? That's why they did. How would they have known? Okay, so there's scientific ways in which you can prove that the sun is an orb, that the moon is an orb, and more likely, positively, that the earth is an orb. Okay, let me keep it moving. So it's the egg versus the pancake. Now, don't get me wrong. I like my pancake, goddammit. I like my goddamn pancake. But on this point, we have proven in many instances that the earth is not flat. We have proven that it can't be a flat square. We can prove that it's not a flat quadrilateral. It's not any type of flat, because you cannot circumnavigate anything flat. So it cannot be flat. And you cannot circumnavigate something with a dome around it. Okay? How the fuck is you gonna go all the way around if you trapped on the top? And how you gonna go all the way around? That's just a complete globe. That is spherical. Okay, we also see that Amen, the goose, was also sacred to Amen, who was one of the great creator deities. Again, showing the cosmic egg of the universe. Okay? And so again, right here, when you talk about the egg, that the core, the hot core represents the yolk. The mantle represents the white, and the shell represents the crust. Okay? Let me come down. Okay? We're looking at right here. True vertical depth. See, that's what they can't show you on the flat earth theory. They can't show you the structure that they claiming we living on in 3D. Okay, we want to know what the fuck it look like in 3 dimensions. We don't want to see it on a 2 dimension. We want to see it. We don't want to see it on a 1 dimension. We want to see it in a 3 dimension. Because if the top is square, then we assume that it's a cube. Okay? But you know, we already disproven that it can't be a cube because a cube has 8 corners. Okay, and the Bible says that the earth have 4 corners. So it can't be a cube. Okay? What more do we have to destroy? Okay? The fact that you can circumnavigate the earth, go all the way around, that crushes damn near 85% of what the flat earthers are talking about. That one fact alone. Okay? You can't circumnavigate a square or a rectangle. Okay? You have to double back, because when you get all the way over to New Zealand, you at the edge. You ain't supposed to be able to go no further. So if I continue to keep going when I ain't supposed to be able to and come to the other side, that would prove that it's not flat. It would prove that it's spherical. That's facts, because you can only circumnavigate something that's spherical. That one fact alone destroys the flat earth theory. And I'll go back to prove it again. Let me go back up here. I'm going to touch back on that. I want to touch back on that. I want to touch back on that so y'all can see. So again, if this was a flat earth, okay, where New Zealand is, that's the edge of the earth. Where you see Australia all the way in purple, over there on the right-hand side, in the corner, in the bottom, Australia, the little island up under Australia is New Zealand. You at the edge. You shouldn't be able to continue going. You should be stopped by the wall of ice. Okay? But if I continue to go east until I come around on the other side, which is the Western Hemisphere, on the flat earth, you can't do that. You have to double all the way back. You have to turn around and go west to get to South America. You have to double back. So whatever amount of time it took you to get from South America to Australia, it's going to take that same amount of time going back. You're going to have to double back. But on a spherical globe, you can continue to go east till you come around on the other side, cutting down maybe damn near 4-5 days of travel. That's ridiculous. No wonder you niggas can't get nowhere. No wonder. You trapped. You motherfuckers is trapped to where you is putting so much extra work on yourself. Okay? Okay? So again, with circumnavigation, that destroys any flat earth, dome, or anything. Let me come back down here. Matter of fact, let me go up. Let me go up. All right. So again, I'm going to give y'all the definition of smooth and even. Okay? The definition of flat, smooth and even without marked lumps or indentations. Okay? Without marked lumps or indentations. Okay? So if you got mountains and damn valleys, it's not smooth and it's not even. What are the synonyms? Level, horizontal, smooth, even, uniform. What are the antonyms? Vertical, uneven. Okay? So anytime you show anything vertical, such as mountain, or unevenness, such as mountains and such as valleys, you have automatically proven that the earth is not flat, period. Even if you want to say a dome is on the top of it, it's not flat. It's an uneven planet, okay? Let me keep it moving. Horizontal means going left and right. This is the opposite of vertical, which means going up and down. That's why they never try to show you a three-dimensional earth, because you can't show a three-dimensional flat earth. That don't exist. Okay? How the fuck you gonna show a three-dimensional flat earth? Okay? So the sun is the center of the galaxy, and its gravitational pull is what keeps all the planets and cosmic bodies in orbit. The modern view of the galaxy is the ancient Egyptian model. When you look at Ra, the symbol of Ra, which is the sun in the middle of the circle. So the ancient Egyptians were heliocentric, okay? They did not believe that the earth was the center of the universe. And that must be clear, okay? The sun as the center of the galaxy, not the earth. Okay? Not the earth. Here you got the sun subordinate to the earth. Okay? Which is totally the opposite of ancient Egypt. So we must be clear about that. If the sun was any closer than what it is to the earth would burn up. How in the hell the earth, as hot as it is, and they got you could get a telescope, see it blazing in the sky, knowing damn well it's not right above the earth, no 3,000 miles above the earth. That is totally ridiculous. Okay? The earth is perfectly in alignment at the distance it needs to be to keep life on this planet. And if it was any closer or any further away, life would cease to exist. Okay, we got to be clear about that. Okay, again, we're looking at the flat earth. Okay, say for instance, you started number 1, which is North America, and you went to Australia. The only way for you to get back to North America is to double back. You're going to have to double back and go all the way back how you came. But we know you can circumnavigate the earth. So when you get to Australia, that's not the edge of the earth. You can keep going and you can come around on the other side to North America where you don't have to double back. Okay, cutting your time probably by days, if not weeks. Okay, in the ancient time, if your ass was on boats, nigga, you talking about months. You would be putting months of extra time on your back on a flat earth, okay? But the fact that we know that it's spherical, we know we could keep going around, we could keep going east till it turned west, that we could come around on the, you could come around on the East Coast, you could come around on the, no, let me get it right. You could come around on the West Coast of South America, by continuing to go east from Australia. Okay? You could come right around, which means that you own a globe. If it was flat, it had edges, it had a dome, there's no way you could keep going. So that would destroy that. That would destroy that. That one fact right there alone would destroy that. Okay? You cannot circumnavigate flat surfaces with edges. Okay? You can only backstep. Okay? So we understand that it can't be a square. We understand that it cannot be a box. We understand it cannot be a cube, because we've already proven that we can circumnavigate the earth, and the only thing you can circumnavigate is a globe. Okay? Vertical down. You got to understand that if it was a cube or if it was an edge, if you didn't have the dome, what the fuck would happen when you got to the edge? You will fall off. And because the earth is from the North Pole to the South Pole is 8,000 miles. From the North Pole to the core, from the core to the South Pole is 8,000 miles. So if you went off the edge, you would have an 8,000 mile fall, an 8,000 mile vertical fall. Okay, that's a hell of a fall, baby. You can't make no fall like that. So we know damn well that it's not a square, that there are no edges, that you cannot fall off the side of the earth because it's not square. It does not have edges. It's round. It destroys that. Okay? What happens when you come to the edge? So you put the dome on it. But since we circumnavigated the earth, we went around in a steady circular path until we came around to the point where we started from. And we didn't have to double back. All we had to do was keep going, and we would come around to these continents. That destroys that. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Circumnavigation destroys 85% of the flat earth theory. It destroys the cone. It destroys the dome. It destroys it being flat. It destroys it being a flat circle. It destroys it being a flat square. It destroys it being a flat anything, because you cannot circumnavigate something that's flat. All right, I'm sick of this shit. Okay? And it's not flat because the opposite of flat is uneven. And if I can show you mountains and I can show you valleys, that would prove that the earth is uneven. So it cannot be flat. See the car? What happened when you get to the end? Huh? Just like the goddamn, see this, you just like them goddamn medieval Europeans, trapped in your mind. Can't even get out the box. How would the Hebrews know anything about what the earth looked like? And the Hebrews never went no further than goddamn Israel. They never went no further than Egypt and Babylon. So how in the fuck would they know whether the earth was square, was a circle, was a globe? They ain't been no further than fucking Israel, Babylon, and Egypt. So they wouldn't have no first-hand experience. They would have no first-hand account on what the fucking earth looked like. Okay? Because they were confined to the deserts of the so-called Middle East. Let me keep it moving. Okay? What force keeps people and objects from falling off the edge? Okay? This may be 1,000 to 2,000 feet. Now imagine 8,000 feet. Okay? But since we understand that you can circumnavigate again, and I'm going to keep pushing it in your head. Since we understand that we can circumnavigate the earth, we know that there is no edges. Okay? We know that there is no edges. But on the flat earth theory, y'all will have to answer this. And so y'all added some more magical, unbelievable shit to the story by saying it was a dome. Okay? An illusion without volume and depth, so you would not question the vertical dimensions of the earth. So if you look at the flat earth at the top, if you look at the shape at the bottom to the left, you can see that if it had depth, you see, if you can see depth is going up and down. So which means that it had to be a shape. So tell us what the fuck kind of shape the earth is. Okay? Is it a cube? It can't be a cube. Is it a rectangle? Is it a box? What is it? And you cannot give us no clear shape to the earth, which would prove that y'all lying from the goddamn beginning. Okay? Because we know it can't be flat because of the hot core of the earth. And we know that it's 8,000 miles from the North Pole to the South Pole. So it can't look like that. What's at the top? It can't. Where would the oceans be? Where's the ocean? Just sitting on the top? Let's do better, y'all. Where's the depth, volume, and height? Okay? Where's the depth, volume, and height? You ain't supposed to have no depth, volume, and height because flat is horizontal. If you got depth, volume, and height, that's vertical, which is the opposite of flat, horizontal. Okay? So as soon as you show depth, volume, and height, it's no longer flat. We're done with that. We're done with that. Okay? 8,000 miles from the North to the South Pole. So if the earth was a circle, a flat earth circle, it would at least be a cylinder. What is it, a cylinder? With a dome on the top? Because the water got to go somewhere. The hot lava, the hot core, the hot lava that's coming from the core of the earth, it's got to be somewhere. So it got to be some depth to the planet. So we want you to tell us what type of shape, geometrical shape the earth is. You cannot tell us because there's so many discrepancies in the Bible that gave birth to the flat earth theory. Okay, again, even as a cube or a rectangle, you will have to show height. You will have to show vertical and depth. So we want to know what this structure of, because if it's a square, then we would assume that it would look like a cube. Because if we was trapped on a square, then we was trapped at the top. We would, it would have to be a cube. But since we can circumnavigate the earth, you cannot circumnavigate a cube. You cannot circumnavigate a cube. So we know that it wasn't a cube. Okay? And then we talking about the centrifugal force of the universe. The sun being in the central point. Okay? You cannot get centrifugal force from something that's square. That don't make no goddamn sense. Okay? So we know that the earth is spinning, and it's spinning because it's a globe. This is where you get centrifugal force from. You get centrifugal force from a circle and a globe. You cannot get that shit from something that's square. Okay? So the earth cannot be spinning as a cube or a flat piece of box. There's no way to achieve gravitational pull without circular motion. So they disregarded gravity in the flat earth theory. Because if it's square, if it's got edges, if it's a quadrilateral, because the quadrilaterals have four corners too. Okay, all quadrilaterals have four corners. Okay, since you can't get gravitational, the only way you could get gravitational pull is with something that's circular or spherical. You had to disregard gravity in the flat earth theory for the fact that it said that it was square, that it had corners. And you can't get centrifugal force from a goddamn square. So you say ain't no gravity. Ain't no gravity. I see why it ain't no gravity. Because you can't get gravity from something that's square. All right, I'm done. Let me keep it moving. Okay? You can start at any point on the planet and getting back to that point, moving in a circle of motion. You cannot do that on a flat surface with edges. You would have to double back. All right, then. Okay? You can keep going around and keep going east till you come back around west. Okay? Without ever having to double back. But if you start at number one on the flat earth, if you go from North America to Africa, Africa to Europe, Europe or Asia, from Africa to Asia, Asia to Australia, the only way for you to get back to North America would to be to double back, to go from 4, 3, 2, 1. And you, okay? So that's on the flat earth. But the fact that you can keep going east till you come around on the other side west without ever having to double back proves the earth is a globe, because you can only circumnavigate something that's a globe. I'm sick of you niggas. We have blew this shit up today. We have blew this shit up today. We have destroyed the fact that Geb is not flat with right angles in his elbows, right angles in his knees. Right angles show vertical. Anytime you show vertical, you're showing opposite to something that's flat. You're showing up and down, vertical, up and down. Okay? That's the opposite of something that's flat. Let me keep it moving. The fact that you can circumnavigate the planet proves that the earth is not flat, or not a flat surface with edges. You can keep going all the way around, which proves it cannot be no edges. It proves it cannot be a dome trapping us on the top of anything, okay? Because we could go from east to west, north to south, any direction we want to go in a circumnavigational motion. We could keep going without ever having to double back. Only can be done on a globe, only can be done on a spear, only can be done on an egg, only can be done on a ball. What does that destroy? The dome. What does that destroy? That is flat. What does that destroy? That is anything other than a globe. Okay? Anything other than a globe. I'm going to move past this. How can the earth be flat with mountains, valleys, and oceans, valleys filled with water? Okay? Okay, this is good. Here we go. You're looking at the earth without the water on it. Does it look like it's smooth? Does it look like it's even? Does it look like it's without marked lumps or indentations? Okay? It's not flat. So the earth is not flat. We need to kill that. Okay? It's not flat. How can the earth be flat with mountains, valleys, and oceans? Okay? If it's smooth and even, does it look like the mountains is smooth and even? Okay, they are lumps. They are indentations on the earth, which will prove that the earth is not flat. Okay? We're looking right here at an x-ray of the oceans. So you can look at the depths of the ocean. So you can see even there that the earth is not smooth, and that it's not flat, and that it's not even. Okay? These are the depths of the ocean. Okay? So we're talking about why do most of the time they show you a two-dimensional flat earth? Because that's the only way you can show something flat is two-dimensional. Okay? That's the only time you can show us something flat is two-dimensional. Okay? But once you start showing depth, okay? Once you start showing the height and depth, then you have to show us three-dimensional. Okay? And because they don't know what type of structure or what the earth looks like, because they are not in an agreement on what it is, they can never show you the earth three-dimensional. And when they do show you the earth three-dimensional, it's many different forms of what it looked like. Nobody has any uniformity in what it looked like, because there's so many different verses in the Bible that say it looked like, different, look like different things. Look like the circle, look like the square, this, that. So you can't truly say what it looked like, okay? Because the three-dimensional earth will show you volume and the vertical dimensions of the earth, okay? Which would prove that it's not flat anything, okay? Keep it moving. See, now this is three-dimensional. This is showing the ones at the bottom are three-dimensional. It's showing you volume and depth. It's showing you that it's a globe. It's showing you where the oceans are. You got to have depth where the ocean's at. So this is truly, man, about the easiest. After I sat down and thought about it. And again, circumnavigation itself is damn near the dagger. Circumnavigation is damn near the dagger. Okay, the fact that you could keep going around and around without ever having to double back, that you could continue to go east till you come around the globe on the west side, the Western Hemisphere, prove that the earth is a globe. That fact alone, okay? And I showed you again. I'm going to go out with this. I'm going to go out with this. So y'all can really see how easy it would be, okay? Let me bring that one down. Hold up. Hold up, y'all. Right here. I'm going to put that right here. All right. All right. So I'm going to use this one back. Okay, so if you look in the right lower corner of this rectangle, because the earth is on the rectangle right here. So if you go in the bottom right corner, you'll see Australia and you will see New Zealand. Okay? When you get to New Zealand, that's the edge of the earth. It should either be the edge or the dome. So if you were trying to go to South America, the only way you're going to go is to sail or fly back west. You're going to have to go west. You're going to have to go west over the Indian Ocean. You're going to have to go past Africa. You're going to have to go past, you're going to have to fly over the Atlantic Ocean to get to South America. That's the only way you could get to South America on a flat earth. But if I could continue to go east, which I shouldn't be able to do because it's a wall, because that's the edge of if I could continue to go east and come around the other side and hit South America on this western coast, if I could do that coming from the other side, I have circumnavigated the earth. That's it. I didn't circumnavigated the earth. On the flat earth, I shouldn't be able to continue to keep going. I should have stopped right there at New Zealand, and I should have to double back. But if I can continue to go east and come on the other side and hit the west coast of South America, I have thus circumnavigated the earth. That destroys everything. That's just like when Samson pushed the goddamn pillars from up under the roof and the goddamn house fell in. That literally crushes that. The fact that the sun can drop below the horizon proves that it's not trapped up under a dome, that is not right above the earth. And if it was set right there above the earth, like the flat earthers are continuing to say, why does the Bible keep mentioning the sun rising and the sun setting? You're not supposed to be having no sun set and no sunrise, because the sun and the moon are fixed above the earth and cannot even leave from up under the dome. This was so goddamn easy. This was so, thank you very much for allowing me. Circumnavigation is the key. But all you have to do, if you want to take a trip from New Zealand to Samoa, the island of Samoa. See, New Zealand is in the Eastern Hemisphere, but Samoa is in the Western Hemisphere, okay? It's in the Western Hemisphere, okay? So right there, that's a trip, because on the flat earth map, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to continue to come east and hit the Western Hemisphere. So literally, when you fly from New Zealand to Samoa, you have went from the Eastern Hemisphere to the Western Hemisphere. Thus, you have circumnavigated the goddamn earth. Okay? So if you want to fly from Samoa to Easter Island, it's about 8 hours, I think, right there. 8 hours and 31 minutes. Okay? 8 hours and 31 minutes. To fly from Australia to the continent of South America, to land in the Chile. You understand what I'm saying? It's no more than 10 or 12 hours. Okay? You have reached, you can fly from Easter Island to the mainland of South America on the west side. The South American continent, North America, is in the Western Hemisphere. So if you start in Australia, which is in the Eastern Hemisphere, you go to New Zealand, you go to Samoa, you go to Easter Island, then you land on the west coast of South America. That's 100% proof that you can circumnavigate the earth. And the only way you can circumnavigate the earth is if it's a globe, if it's a ball, if it's an egg. That's the only way you can circumnavigate something, okay?